they would start hitting civilian targets even more aggressively. At this point, they are doing that, right? I mean, Israel very quickly started doing that. They hit the oil refineries near Tehran and engaged in chemical warfare.
And by the day, the Israelis are about to go even further. The country's prime minister says there's more to do by expanding their occupation of southern Lebanon. It's a message of strength that concedes a major weakness. Hezbollah has increased its attacks on the Israeli military.
In Lebanon, I have now instructed to further expand the existing security strip in order to finally thwart the threat of invasion.
But this is not the only place where Benjamin Netanyahu is waging war. Israeli and American planes have subjected the capital of Iran to waves of bombing. 701 strikes were recorded over 24 hours, according to one human
Amy Goodman's peace sign. Thank you for the 50 gifted.
rights group. The majority concentrated in and around Tehran. The Red Crescent Society says residential areas were hit overnight, and we see their personnel and search dogs moving through the rubble, searching for survivors and counting the dead. The Iranian Health Ministry says more than 1,900 people have died. On the target list, a well-known public university in Tehran. These images have been verified by Sky, with pictures of the damage posted by an academic the following day. Only last month, this campus was alive with students, she wrote. In response, Iran has threatened to hit US universities located in the Middle East. And Iran has been firing missiles into Israel at a steady pace. The majority intercepted by Israeli defenses, but not all. This impact in southern Israel filmed from neighboring Jordan. And residents in this community near Jerusalem were fortunate when a long-range missile narrowly missed their homes. 7 suffered light injuries. In Pakistan, talks about peace have begun with representatives of Egypt, Turkey and Saudi Arabia in attendance. But there's little sign that American and Iranian officials are planning to attend. Instead, the US is bringing in more troops, with the arrival of 2,500 Marines and ships equipped for amphibious assault.
Remember what I told you after day one? Where they blew up a school, blew up a facility where people were children were playing volleyball, which I said was most likely a quote unquote accident that they didn't give a shit enough about. But clearly their targets were primarily Basij and IRGC shit. When they realized that the Iranian people would not actually rise up, that they would start hitting civilian targets even more aggressively. At this point, they are doing that, right? I mean, Israel very quickly started doing that. They hit the oil refineries near Tehran and engaged in chemical warfare. But when they recognized that the Iranian people were not actually going to fight back against their government in the way that the Israeli government claimed it would happen, even though the American intelligence said that most likely wasn't going to happen if you bombed Iran. Okay. They were going to start punishing every single person that they could, every single member of Iranian civil society, and they're precisely doing that. Yeah. This trajectory is now unmistakable. As Iran maintains its ability to fire back, the U.S.-Israeli target set is widening from military sites to universities, factories, and residential areas. This shift is arguably driven by difficulty of decisively degrading Iran's military capabilities. What prevents Iran from doing the same? Iran will do the same. Iran is doing the same right now. If they have a facility that's hit, they hit back in the same way to Israel as well. And ironically enough, for those of us who have been paying close attention, monitoring the situation, you have noticed probably Israeli reports coming out about how effective Iran is at now consistently penetrating the Israeli security, the Israeli anti-defense systems. They now have a 54% strike rate. It's unbelievable. Yesterday, Iran lobbed 14 missiles at Israel. 7 of them, or I think, more than 7 of them went through. Okay? They hit targets. Danny Citrinowicz, the Atlanticist, who has to eat his words as he, this is like one of those things that guys like Danny were agitating for their entire careers. And now that it's unfolding in spectacular fashion and blowing up in their faces, he has to offer sober analysis and make it seem like he's not on board with this. Says the escalation is already here. Strikes on steel plants and universities on one side, and Iran's response, including damage to desalination facilities in Kuwait on the other, make clear that the current trajectory is unsustainable. Absent an end to the war, and given Israel's apparent intent to deepen its campaign against Iran, further escalation is only a matter of time. Maintaining the current status quo will be increasingly difficult, especially as the Houthis signaled their willingness to expand the conflict in response to intensified activity against Iran. And this is all before even considering the possibility of U.S. ground involvement. Surely Israel can't tank 50+% hit rates for long? Yeah, of course not. No one can.